Unlike most Fridays, this Friday, we're not pressed to get ready to go racing. It's been 2 weeks since the accident over at the Ozark Raceway Park in Missouri, and although we haven't planned to take 2 weeks off, it's been kind of nice. As usual, for a Friday, Miss Vicky went and got lunch for everybody at Cane's Chicken. She brought that stuff back to the shop just about the time Billy showed up, and he wanted to bring his S10 in the garage to work on the rear suspension for a few minutes. So I backed the Malibu outside and we pulled the S10 in. We've noticed the last couple of times we've had the truck on the lift that when we set it down, the rear suspension seems to be bound up a little bit. So Jeremy and Billy put it on the lift and took a look at everything. And one thing that we did notice is that the pinion angle isn't exactly where we'd like it to be. So we called up Uncle Terry at Jegs, and lo and behold, Uncle Terry had just exactly what we needed. We were currently using 4-degree pinion angle shims, and Uncle Terry had some 6s. So Billy and I ran into Jegs in the Malibu, picked up what we needed, and headed back home, the back way, to avoid rush hour traffic on Friday. Now, I think everyone knows by now that Billy and Molly sold that white Mustang to Tony and Tess out in California. So that was Molly's car. Billy helped her build it, but it was Molly's. So when she sold that car, Billy decided he'd like to maybe have one for himself. And you may have noticed the red 85 GT sitting in the driveway earlier. Well, that's Billy's new street car. Anyway, when we got back from Jegs, Miss Harley was hard at work detailing the inside of the Mustang and using the shop vac to sweep it all out. She cleaned up Billy's Dodge Dually yesterday and detailed the interior in it too. I even let her into my secret stash of Jack's Wax stuff. She really does a good job at this. So anyway, while Harley's out there working on the Mustang, the rest of us run into the shop and get started on Billy's S10. We need to swap out these 4-degree shims for 6-degree shims. And then Uncle Rob showed up. He brought some goodies down from Watt's Restaurant up in Utica.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah.
Uncle Rob.
Banana wafer pudding.
Once Uncle Robbie got done dropping off all his goodies, Jeremy headed back to his place, and Harley and her little boy got busy washing the outside of the Mustang so that we can go over it tomorrow with a clay bar and some Hawaiian shine. But before Billy left tonight, I had to go drive this thing myself, at least once. Now, inevitably, when another streetcar shows up, you know what's bound to happen. Sooner or later, we're going to have to find out which one's faster, the Mustang or my Malibu. And I need to know up front what I'm up against. Now, I'm no Tony Politano, but I used to be able to shift gears pretty decent in my day. My Nova was a 4-speed when I first got it. The little Mustang runs pretty good for what it is. It's undoubtedly much lighter. The last time I weighed the Malibu, it showed 3660 on the scales with me in it with half a tank of fuel. And I'm certain this little Mustang doesn't weigh anywhere near that. The power to weight ratio of this car should make it pretty competitive. And I figure it's only a matter of time before we find out for sure which one is going to rule the streets around here. And let's not forget, Kenny Powers has a Camaro sitting out back yet that might give it a run for its money as well. So do you want to explain to the peoples what you are doing?
So, I saw this car on Marketplace, and I've been wanting a stick shift street car after I got to drive around Molly's car a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I had a lot of fun with it, and this one popped up, and I went and looked at it, and it was so nice I just couldn't pass it up. So
I feel like Tony is a bad influence on you.
yeah, I watched Tony in high school racing his stick shift car, and I always wanted to be cool like him. Turns out later on, he always wanted to be cool like me. He messaged me on Instagram and was like, anyway, that's how I first talked to Tony. He messaged me on Instagram, and we started talking back and forth, and I'm like, dude, I used to watch all your videos. He's like, dude, I watch your videos. I'm like, that's cool. But anyways, I like these cars because they're fun, they're cheap.
Mm-hmm.
I don't necessarily like them as like a race car. just because everybody has them. But like for a street car, it's just cheap fun.
And that is a really nice little street car, man. That car drives nice. I mean, really nice.
Whoever had this thing took really good care of it. If you're out there watching this video, you have a hell of a car. You built a hell of a car, because it's very clean. It's never seen any kind of salt. It's got low miles.
How many miles are on it?
64,000.
Original.
Yeah. It's the original paint.
Canyon red.
Yeah.
Someone's done a 5-lug swap.
Yeah.
It's got big brakes.
Already converted to 5-lug, and it's got big disc brakes on the front. I don't know if that's a kit for like an SVO car or like a Cobra brake kit, but those aren't typical.
Right.
Those are bigger than normal.
We're not Ford people, so we're not sure what the etiquette is for what brakes that is, but it's already 5-lug swapped. It's got an 8.8 rear. It's got a 410 gear in it, posi.
Yeah, 410 gear.
It's been lowered with lowering springs, like it's been done right.
It's got tubular control arms in the rear, and they're adjustable and stuff. So, you know, somebody had a fun little street trip car, and they kept it that way. It's kind of like a time capsule, really.
The interior, and it's beautiful. I mean, it's like
yeah, it's super clean.
Super, super nice. There's not a spot of rust. Like, look up in the inner fenders. Like, this thing has never been in the salt.
It's really quiet. You drive it up the road, it doesn't creak or rattle.
No, it's tight.
It's a very nice car.
There's not a squeak or a rattle in this car.
Yeah.
You go across the railroad tracks, it's nice and smooth, and
it's nice to jump in at night and just go for a drive. That's for sure.
there's not even a crack in the dash.
Yeah. I intend to keep it a street car and no cage, just
Something to have fun and cruise in.
just something to have fun, race you guys with a little bit. Kenny's
So
car,
this
your
is like
car.
the replacement for the Malibu. Kind
of, yeah. I mean, I really like the Malibu, but I think it's more your style. You know, it kind of fit you, and
Well, I told you, you're welcome to take it anytime you want.
yeah. I like banging gears in my street cars. It's fun. If I had a street car that was auto, it wouldn't feel as fast, you know, and it would be boring. But since it's stick shift, it's a little bit more fun.
You saying my Malibu's boring?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying to me, it would feel slower driving it around all the time, just because you're not doing as much and there's not as much to do. But yeah, it's fun. That's why I got it.
I'll bet that Malibu whoop your ass.
I think we're gonna find out.
Oh!
I've been testing it
You've already been.
I'll stop at random places and just see if it hooks, and I've been practicing my launches and stuff. So.
The street weasel.
Yeah.
That's what we should call this thing, the street weasel.
I was gonna call it Stranger Things. I've been into that new show Stranger Things, and the logo is like the same color.
Oh, jeez. I dig it, dude. It's a pretty cool little car.
Yeah, it's awesome. Like every light in the dash works. Rear defrost. It had AC on it, but it's been deleted. But they did a nice job on it. It's not all hacked up.
I like to see you put a little stereo in it.
Yeah, it'd be nice to have like a stereo, because it's quiet enough. You could hear the radio. It's nice because, like, to have a car like a street car with overdrive, you don't have a lot of good transmission options for like big horsepower cars.
Right. Well, 4L80E.
4L80, but that's a god awful elephant of a transmission that weighs 1,000,000 pounds and robs a bunch of power. So I mean, you have to have a lot of power to have a 4L80E. But like, you know, if you have overdrive with a stick shift car, it's, you know, you're not robbing a bunch of power.
Right.
You know, it still feels, if you have a car that makes 700-800 horsepower, it's perfect.
All right, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. It is now Saturday morning. It was Friday night. It's now Saturday morning. It's almost 1 o'clock in the morning. Let's see. If you haven't seen it yet, Billy's got a new video up on his channel. He and I went yesterday up to Bob McVeigh's shop, and we went ahead and pulled the big block apart. If you haven't seen that yet, you might want to go watch that. I'm sure most of you probably have already seen it, but greatly appreciate Bob up at McVeigh Automotive and Machine for allowing us to come up here and work after hours in the machine shop and tear that engine apart and use his equipment and tools. Greatly appreciated. We found pretty much what I figured we were going to find. Scored main and rod bearings, and I think we understand why that happened. And the crankshaft has 4, maybe 5 more pieces of Mallory that are still in the counterbalance throws of the crank, but I don't know how long they're going to stay in there. It appears that whoever balanced the crank installed the Mallory, in my opinion, not an incorrect way, but not the way it should have been done for the application. I'm sure that there's thousands of cranks out there that have been done that way. We've run cranks that way before. However, the crankshaft that I remember us having, and it may be here somewhere, I'm sure it's probably still here somewhere. We had a small block Chevy crank that was balanced that way, but the Mallory was countersunk in, centered in the counterweight, and then TIG welded in, and it wasn't something someone was trying to hide. And I'm not so sure that this is a situation they were trying to hide it, but I feel like they MIG welded it instead of TIG, and it was ugly, and they took a grinder to try and clean it up. But unfortunately, there just wasn't any penetration to the weld. So when they took the weld off the face of the counterbalance weight of the crank, they literally just took the weld with it. And so that's why that one piece came out. I hate that it happened, but you know, I'm definitely sorry to see the car all tore up. That sucks. I mean, the whole thing just sucks. It sucks that things turned out the way they did. It sucks that, you know, everybody's up in arms about it on the internet. And it sucks that this car is sitting here with the nose tore off. But it could have been worse. And I'm thankful that it didn't have a different outcome. I mean, you never want to see a car tore up. But Billy could have got hurt really bad. If it had a diaper on it, the car probably would have made it down to 300 or 400 feet and then come loose and then crashed. It could have also had a diaper on it, and it could have caught fire. That would be far worse than what we're dealing with now. It could have gone farther down track and spun around and backed into the wall and tore up the back of the car and ruined the quarter panels and doors and the top, and that would have devastated all of us, because that's not just bolt-on pieces like the nose is. So although it sucks and it's a hard pill to swallow, we're thankful, and we're working together as a family and as a team to get the car back together with our friends and people who want to help us, and we're thankful for that. And Billy's still here, and he's learned some lessons, and I'm not trying to I'll just put it this way. I was not ever enthused about that engine being built where it was built. And I don't have any ill will towards those people at all. I just didn't feel comfortable. Just say that. I just didn't feel comfortable. But, you know, Junior and I haven't had the best situation for quite a while as far as him and I getting along. And I have to pick my battles sometimes. And that was not a hill I was prepared to die on. I was just kind of letting it go. I mean, I felt like they could probably build that engine, but there was just some, I hate to say, I can't say minor details. These are major details, but really, I mean, the balance job on the crank, all bad. And I really feel like they were just a little bit outside their wheelhouse with this twin turbo application. The original oil pan probably would have been okay had it had restrictors in it, and it is what it is. I'm not going to get into it anymore. You can watch Billy's video and get the lowdown on everything we found. But the car is sitting here, and we've got all the brand new sheet metal unboxed. And I think Jeremy's back's hurting him a little bit today. He moved some stuff from one house to the other and kind of tore his back up a little bit, and his back's bothering him. So I'm not sure if he's going to be here tomorrow, but he planned on being here tomorrow to start bolting the nose together and fabricating new bumper brackets and everything all over again to remount the steel nose on the front of the Nova. So that may be coming up tomorrow. Billy has gone home, but I think he's wanting to maybe work on his Mustang here a little bit tomorrow. He's got a different intake manifold. That thing's got it looks like a 600 or a 650 Demon carburetor with a vacuum secondary and a dual plane intake manifold on it. And I don't think that's going to be on there very long. I've got a 750 carburetor laying over here. I've got actually two of them, but the one I'd like to put on it is my red one that came off the Malibu. However, this car is set up with a vacuum advance. It doesn't have to stay that way, but it's got a vacuum advance hookup on it. And this carburetor I've got behind me does not have a vacuum advance port anymore. I swapped base plates. That's a whole nother story. So I don't know. We'll see what we get into. We may do a little street shenanigans this weekend. We're staying home from racing. This is going to be 2 weekends in a row we haven't gone racing, and that's that's difficult for us. But, you know, it's all right. We've been working on things around here. We've done some work in the trailer. Kenny hung some new cabinets and new lights out there in the trailer, and we've got some organization we need to get done out there to prepare for the next race. We appreciate Kenny for doing that stuff. He did a really nice job hanging those cabinets and hanging the new lights out there in the trailer. Appreciate Harley. She's been working hard here. She does everything from shipping and receiving to detailing cars and helping Vicky with work in the house and cleaning the trailer. I mean, she does everything. We're so thankful to have her here and have her help. So anyway, guys, that's going to about do it for tonight. Thank you all for watching, liking, sharing, subscribing, that whole bit. The subscriptions are going up pretty substantially here lately. I really appreciate that. That's a really good sign. We're doing the best we can. I'll try and get another video knocked out tomorrow. And I may take the Malibu and go race this weekend. I can't go both days, but I might try and go down there Sunday and race the Malibu. Tommy and Allison and Jeff and Tiffany are all up at Put-in Bay this weekend on vacation. And I've been sent some videos. Oh my God. Jeffafa on stage singing Hank Williams Jr. for like 2 hours. I didn't even know he was capable of that. But anyway, we'll all be back together next weekend, and we'll be racing again. So things will get back to normal. See y'all later. Thank you for watching.